Alright, I'm going to show you guys how I mount my LVS 34 on the Garmin Force. It's similar on a lot of trolling motors, but making sure when everything comes up and down numerous times in all situations where your cable is fully protected is key. I'm already seeing these things cut in half all over the place in my group, and you don't want that. So this is the Summit Fishing Equipment Perspective mount with the quick attach bracket. You don't have to run it, but I'll show you here. You see the distance this spaces it off of here? That's kind of a big deal because this portion is your most forward element. You know, this is your mid element and this one is your down slash a little bit behind you element. So having that clear completely past this by a lot is kind of a big deal. So first off, you know, I mount mine so that the cord comes up, comes through the D-ring. That's really important, just so you always make sure that this is protected from pulling here. That way, if you have any weeds or anything caught on it, or even just water when you're moving and hitting stuff, you're not always straining this. Okay, I come through and I wrap this with tape, and what I do is I basically, exactly like you can see it, I run it nice and flat down the shaft and make sure that it's fastened so that when it sits in the saddle, it's on the top. And then I just do a zigzag wrap with, like, you know, maybe 2.5 inches apart on each one of these. Fasten it real good on the top. And then I'm actually in the process of taking this off right now, so it's a little bit different, but I put a nice fat loop in right here that lets the head go around as much as it needs to without ever tightening it up. And then what I do is I run right here. This is basically a long piece, 2 long pieces of Velcro. And the first piece I run wrapped around the cable a bunch of times, and then it sits right in there and it protects the cable from the aluminum. The next piece connects it down onto here. It was a little bit tighter, and like I said, I'm in the process of taking it off. Second thing second, I cut this off shorter because it was like way up here before, and that's just ridiculous. This is a 57-inch trolling motor because I didn't want it to be coming out of the water with waves. You can see how I mounted it. I drilled my holes a little different, and I turned it a bit so that the head was inside the boat. That way when you dock and stuff, you don't have issues. Back to the wiring. So basically it comes from here, it loops right around, and then it attaches right on with the rest of these wires that are here. So again, you know, electrical tape, it's not going through this hole, so don't even think that's gonna happen. I electrical tape it here, I electrical tape it down on that end of it, and then from there, you're basically just following the other wires that are already in the manual and how they say to do it. So, you know, electrical tape. I've been taking some of this off, but and my boat's a little bit different than some other ones. You know, I have this whole plate here where I have the module mounted and all this stuff. But for me, I come up, I just do, you know, a nice loop with my excess cabling here. I had it electrical taped around each one of these clips as well on each one of these locations, and then I just come up and plug it right into the module there, and everything stays just like it is. That keeps, and then I also attach this to here. This is where all my wiring comes out, all my network cables and everything come through here, and I just took and made this plate out of it's like 1/8 inch HDPE. You can get it from Menards. You can get these little sheets of it, and I just cut it and put a slot in it, and then I stick this piece of cabling protector down in there, probably like 4 inches, and then it kind of like seals around it. I kind of did the same thing back here a little bit where I had another issue there. So yeah, and then I take my trolling motor control and I hardwired it in with the wire because why not? And basically what I do is I set everything up so I can sit with my right foot on the trolling motor, and it's a little bit tilted so that your knee is off center from your screens. And yeah, that's about it. So, you know, this mount especially, I mean, it is nice in theory. You could pull this off pretty easily without unbolting stuff, but you have all this tape and everything to take off as well, because, you know, I have a pole mount here that you could put a pole on. But once you have it all secured onto here, it's like you don't really want to take it off. Honestly, I have a second transducer right there that I keep handy on a pole and everything. And then if I need to, if I'm gonna like do vertical jigging for salmon or something, I could just unscrew it from the back of the module quick, run that one over, plug it in, and I could just use the pole for that situation. So LVS 34, definitely a difference, definitely a big difference in how far you can shoot, definitely a big difference in the clarity, the separation. If you're a big live scope guy and you put in the time and you actually, fish a lot, I wouldn't hesitate on doing it. Russell Marine Products, you can hit me up. I'll shoot you a link if you need to. But for the most part, that is how I wire my transducer. I had a Tarova before this. I hated it. I had the cable saver and all that on there, which did make a big difference, and it was very nice. But yeah, the Force is definitely much better of a motor. So that's what I got for you.